Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Murders Are Now Being Prevented by Artificial Intelligence-Based Criminal Surveillance Technology, Part 1. I know it's a long title, but you're going to enjoy this. This is good stuff. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, comment, and follow us. Also, I'd like to tell you about a service called HollywoodIsCalling.com. It's a great service that allows you to purchase live phone calls from your favorite celebrities, so check them out. It's something you can buy for yourself or as a gift for someone you know. There are more than 100 celebrities to choose from. You can buy a live 15-second call for $19.95, and you can purchase a live 30-second call for $29.95. So whatever the occasion, whatever the reason, there's nothing cooler than getting a real live phone call from your favorite star. So give it a try. HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now, let's get started. What does the world of organized crime, the mafia, and major drug cartels all have in common? Well, they're all very concerned now about the growing power of artificial intelligence surveillance technology being developed and used by law enforcement. Why is that? Because the one great superpower criminals and criminal organizations have had throughout history has been their ability to maintain secrecy, invisibility, and unpredictability. Now, those abilities have allowed organized crime to usually stay several steps ahead of law enforcement and not get caught. But all that has changed now. AI surveillance technology is capturing criminals like never before, and it has organized crime in full panic. And get this, a lot of criminals who think they were arrested by law enforcement were actually arrested by AI information fed to law enforcement, who then arrested them. We'll tell you what we know about this technology, and we'll also give you some very informed speculation about what it will be able to do in the next 6 to 12 months. If you're going to distribute 3 tons of heroin across 2 continents, then getting away with it is much easier if law enforcement doesn't know how you're doing it, where your destination is, and who the people are who are helping you move the drugs. If you're going to rob a major bank, then it really helps you when law enforcement doesn't know the name of the bank, where it's located, or who is going to be involved in that bank robbery. What about murder or assassination? Well, if you're going to kill people, then doing so is infinitely easier if law enforcement doesn't know who, when, or how you're going to do it. And it's really helpful if law enforcement doesn't know you're the one arranging to kill someone. Now, what if there was a new technology that could study millions of data streams in real time and then use that information to help law enforcement predict with high probability of success what certain criminals were up to, when they were going to do it, and how they were going to do it? What if the new technology could monitor the movements and distribution of stolen goods, illegal goods, criminals, weapons, and perhaps most importantly, paper cash? That's right. This technology can even track the movement of paper money. What is it called? It's called artificial intelligence, and its capabilities are staggering. It's so impressive now that large criminal organizations are actively monitoring this technology to see what capabilities it possesses each month, and then they try and develop criminal countermeasures that their organizations can deploy to minimize the risk of being caught or tracked by this AI technology. So what are some of the major threats and problems that AI now poses to the world of organized crime? Well, they're significant, and quite frankly, some of it borders on or exceeds what's being shown in science fiction movies. Let's describe some of them. First, there's the tracking of physical cash. not electronic money moved through bank accounts or front companies used for laundering money, which AI systems can also do, by the way. No, I'm talking about tracking the movement of physical paper currency. Now, most people still think that if you put cash in a suitcase or a box and then move it across the country to, from point A to point B, that it remains invisible. Well, that's not true anymore. You know those metal detecting hand wands that they use to scan across your body at the airport or some other security checkpoints? Well, they don't just check you for guns anymore. They scan your body to detect the metal security threads that are now inside all paper money. When they scan your wallet or the money belt you have secretly wrapped around your waist, they can detect the cash on your body, and this device can count the precise amount that you have on you simply by scanning all the individual metal threads and all the bills you have in your wallet or hidden in your suitcase. The information from that scan can then immediately be uploaded to a massive AI program that creates a new file on you or adds the information to a pre-existing file about you that's already in law enforcement's database. AI can use the signal on your cell phone to track everywhere you go, every person you talk to, meet with you and do business with. It can then do real-time background searches on all of those people and start tracking and monitoring everywhere they go and everyone they talk to and meet with. It can also do real-time criminal background checks on all these people. Now, years ago, tracking, monitoring, and surveying so many people and places and things would have required countless law enforcement personnel, technicians, cars, and even aircraft just to follow everyone and try and collect some data that can be used later to prosecute all these people or force them to become confidential informers. Now, the cost of doing such massive monitoring and surveillance would have been prohibitive. That's not the case anymore. The artificial intelligence systems out there are now so powerful and capable of such widespread monitoring that tracking the activity of 10 million criminals is as easy and fast as tracking one criminal. The difference is that the more the data the AI technology collects from more criminals, the more patterns and suspicious behaviors it can log, detect, and analyze. Why is that a big deal? Because most criminal behavior is interrelated with other criminals and other criminal behavior. When you do a massive AI-level surveillance, then you can detect things that are not obvious or apparent to the human eye of a small group of undercover law enforcement officers. So what other problems and threats could technology like AI potentially do to organized crime? Well, it can perform what's known as virus surveillance. Let's say that Tony is a criminal with a cell phone on him, or he's talking to someone in a room with a television set that's connected to the internet, or maybe he has someone else in the room that has a smartwatch on his wrist. If the AI system wants to survey him, it can begin to record audio and video from his cell phone or his watch or his TV. The AI system can also detect the presence of other phones in the room and transmit a surveillance virus to them, which will put them under the control of law enforcement going forward. Then, every suspicious person those new phones or devices come into contact with can also be added to the list of suspicious targets that need to be placed under constant surveillance. So you're saying they can't do all that without a warrant, right? Wrong. That was yesterday. Today, they don't need a warrant for stuff like that because the products you purchase, like that cell phone or TV or internet router on your tabletop, all have terms of service which you had to agree to when you purchased them. Those products are already surveying and recording everything that ordinary people say and do all day long. So if a criminal comes into contact with you, then law enforcement doesn't need your permission to record everything because it's already been granted that by the buyers. So this is where part 1 of this episode ends. Make sure to watch part 2 of this show to find out more about the incredible things that AI is being used by both law enforcement and, get ready for this, AI is also being used by the criminal world now. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and we will talk to you soon.